Hello, everyone. My name is Jen Ballou, and I am a twin flame located in Laguna Beach, California. I am a holistic healer. I am a doula who practices from conception to through birth and beyond. I specifically have an interest in working with individuals who are here to bring in these new blended family templates. So that's just putting that out there. If there are those of you who resonate to that, within their own twin flame union, and perhaps want to, begin that alignment process. Essentially, it's assisting those who have come from more disordered environments, dysfunctional environments, and helping them to heal themselves, right? And then create, based on their experiences, these beautiful family templates that are meant to come together, right? These healing templates. So I'm just sharing that, but within my process, within my unification process, I'm here now to advance the twin flame fields. So I am setting up a process for twin flames to begin to come into union, right? To work within their unification process. So this is different than what you may have been exposed to, or perhaps what type of understanding you've gained within the twin flame perspective, within the twin flame community. And I'm here to share my process of coming into union. So I am within my twin flame union. I have chosen to embody my twin flame union as an individual. Right? As an individual, I have chosen to come into union, right, with my twin flame on every level of existence, and I've chosen to bring that in, and this is a part of that process. Now, I hosted a twin flame union activation yesterday, and I had a small group of individuals. Thank you to those who were able to join. To those who were not able to join but wanted to be there, I will be hosting additional twin flame union activations. Now, these are all going to be similar in nature. So if you've already attended one, I'm not saying you can't attend to the next, free activation. What it is it's a workshop. It's not just you receiving the activation. It's how to go within and begin your unification process. It's based in that. It's not the same type of activation you've likely experienced before. This is a new model. This is a new way to assist twin flames to begin to dive deeper and begin to really, release out these old energy fields, these old distorted fields, remove them from, the false ascension matrix, remove yourself from the pain and the suffering and whatever you have endured, and really coming into these higher states of awareness. And from that space, being able to begin your unification process. So there is a specific progression involved within twin flame unions, and it's taken me time to come into realization of that and to actualize the divine plan. So I hope that some of you will be able to join me going forward. Keep in mind, this is not, there's like there is going to be no more spiritual bypass, right? So the way this has been modeled, this grand shift, right, and these openings are that way for a reason, right? So if you're feeling triggered at this time, or you're feeling lost at this time, it's time to go within, right? It's time to go deeper within. I remember when, I first began to come into this work, and the, I was very impatient. Like, learning how to understand fully that everything's a process and this is much bigger than just two people coming together has been a journey in and of itself. So it's understanding that your union is connected to the union of all, right? So I was shown when I came into my twin flame union, when I had my twin flame union experience, and I've had multiple experiences that have brought me here. I was shown the progression, right? I was shown it through light and visuals in the light fields, but my human self, like, I didn't have a reference point. I didn't understand what it was, right? Like, it took me a long time to be able to process through that experience in order to understand the process involved, right? And then not only to understand the process involved, but then as a source light being to create that process. To create that process, essentially, or to connect in and to see that process that was already occurring, you could say, naturally and organically. And then create something tangible with that, right? In order to share, with others. So a model, a teaching model, a guidance model. So this is how you come into union, right? To believe that I was even in union, on one sense, on one scale, the experiences I've had have demonstrated that. It's shown me that I'm progressing into my physical union, and yet I'm already in union, and I've been shown that numerous times, right? That it's there's this progression involved. And through that process, I've also had to release the embodiment in who I've thought that the individual was many times over, right? And I'm not saying that I've had crazy multiple embodiments, but there's still this process of letting go as well. Letting go and opening yourself up to the divine, and opening yourself up to new potentials and perhaps different ranges, right? And eventually, the union, that's all there is the union. That's all there is. And so I'm here to share that with everybody, that this is a process, right? And within that scope, and sharing parts of my activation yesterday. So I had an individual who I've worked with a few times and who joined in my activation. She was sharing how I had asked each participant to let me know, like, what are they looking for out of this activation, right? What are they looking for? What would they like to receive? How would they like to progress forward? What would their next step be? Or where are they at now? And how have they been processing through this journey up to this point, right? And I had one of my one of the participants share that she wants to know how to speed this process up. And, and I thought about that within myself over the last day, since the activation. And I thought, and I started to open myself up to, well, how can we speed up the process? Is there a way to speed up the process? And, and through that process of, coming into greater awareness and greater understanding, it was shown to me that, it is up to all of us, right? But at the same time, we live in these very dense human bodies. You cannot, you will explode if you don't have a process. Your human body cannot handle the light. Even, I even have at times have to say, I can't right now. There's too much. It's too much. I'll get disoriented. It's too much, right? Like, I have to say that to myself, because if I go into the light fields, like, I can be like, it's like there's just too much, right? There's too much going on. I don't know what to connect to. And you have to, number one, it helps to have a guide, right? It helps to have a guide. It helps to have others who are at the same level as you are, right? That can make sure you don't get lost, because you will see a lot of things and you don't know what's real, right? And it takes time to be able to orientate yourself and to really have within your union guideposts or field markers or alignments, or it's like, I remember when I first started being open to them, it would remind me of what a child would go through as far as their development in learning how to walk. Like, and it would be similar to like being blind and learning how to orientate yourself within a space. And yet you still have, you have visuals, right? And you have reference points, but truly learning how to navigate that space can be very difficult. And getting there is a process. Once again, everything's a process, right? And so that is why it takes time, right? It takes time. But within that scope, yes, we can speed up the process. And I feel that we are being guided to do that. Now, there is a potential to shift out of the old right now and to speed up the process. And that means that your inner work comes first. That inner work comes first. So clearing out the old, and this is not, this is meant to be for everyone. I'm sharing this for everyone, right? Within the collective. So really, really focusing on going within. Right? Stop looking to, and this is not just, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are saying, well, I don't watch any more twin flame videos. Are you in any twin flame groups? Are you within work? Because it's not just twin flame land. This is within all energy fields, right? If you're not, like, these are the old energy fields. And there exists these higher energy fields within these 3D energy fields as well. So staying in the mindset of, oh, that's just 3D and this is 5D over here, it won't get you anywhere, because this 5D is just as messed up as this 3D, and yet the 5D is even more complex and confusing, right? Or this 12D. Like, it's a lot, right? And so the gift that you can provide yourself is to just go within. Start connecting to your own feelings, your own thoughts. Now, there are tools out there Like the one participant, she had mentioned to me she's using the law of attraction. And I'm not against that because I've used it before. But what I found, and I can share my own experience, what I found with the law of attraction was that it actually skewed my perception to some degree, in the sense of the law of attraction can be, depending on how you use it, it can be very superficial in nature. So it's still like, I want this material thing, right? And what we're moving into and out of this material thing that I desire, right, is into your own feeling nature. So how do you want to feel on a day-to-day basis? Right? Well, what are the energies you want to surround yourself with? Do you want to be in bliss and joy and ecstasy and in your creative energies and in your flow and realizing your majesty and being in this loving partnership? Or do you just want your twin? Or do you just want this idea in your mind of what this relationship looks like? But in order to create a vibrational alignment, you must go much deeper. So this is not saying that law of attraction is bad, but it's really truly like using it properly, right? And learning how to use it properly. And many don't teach it properly. And it can be difficult. And then also at the same time, what I had realized is I was already practicing the law of attraction prior to learning the law of attraction. So sometimes what will happen is we think we're doing something wrong, and we go and we reach towards something, right, to fill that fear or that void, like that's going to give us what we need. And it's really learning how to say, you know what, I hold all the keys within myself and I hold all the knowledge within myself. And yes, we do need these things sometimes to have reference points and understandings and different things like that and tools, because that's the human, right? That's the human in you. The human needs a tool, right? The human needs a reference point. It needs an orientation. It needs you could say an identity, right? In order to function. But what it is it's creating this divine self that has everything it needs inside of itself. And it's utilizing, you could say, the creating that system within. So creating like a matching system within. Does this align, right? So when you understand vibrational alignment, it's the feeling, the feeling that is what you desire. So an example would be tuning into your counterpart and tuning into a vibrational alignment within that. So perhaps let's say you had a energetic meeting of the twin. Let's say you have an energetic meeting of the twin on higher levels in a dream, in a meditation, wherever it may be. Like that feeling, right, is what you're aligning towards. And when you follow that feeling, you will be guided into the spaces and into the right direction. So I just wanted to share that as far as number one, beginning to navigate your process, beginning to make connections for yourself at different levels and in different dimensions, and understanding that the union cannot come in until like you've fully cleared out your ancestral wounds, and this is deep, deep, deep work. So, and putting that first, right, is what will then align you to this greater mission or this greater scope. So it's clearing out, and it's embodying that union frequency. And that, again, it just takes time. It just takes time. So, I hope some of you will join me tomorrow for this next twin flame union activation. And what I have my participants do is to choose 2 items that represent a bringing in and a letting go. So physical items. So an example would be perhaps I have, this is just an example, right? So I have this crystal here. It's this blue heart, right? And perhaps this is something that I have used in the past, let's say, to help me through, let's say, the pain and suffering of my twin flame journey, let's just say. And so I have that. And then let's say I have Buddha over here. Let's say, rather than, that this is what I want to bring in. I want to bring in this Buddhic, state of being, right? So I want to bring in this peace, this harmony, this wholeness, this completion. I want to bring in this energy field, right? I want to bring in the energy field of the Buddha, just within my being, right? This enlightened being. And I know that I have access to this because everybody has access to this, right? You don't have to be Buddha to have access to this state of being, this enlightened state of being. Now, it takes work, it takes development, it takes time and patience and understanding and love and compassion and various other things. But it's possible, right? It's possible for every single person to become enlightened in this lifetime if they so choose. And many won't. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing this energy in, bringing this state of being in, and I'm letting go of this pain and suffering, let's say. And these are just correspondences within my field. There's something tangible, right? Something I can hold on to, and I can create that connection. I can create that connection. If I'm going to let go of this, it's time to move forward. I already know I'm in union with my beloved. Even if it's not the embodiment that I think it is, I know that everything I'm doing right now is moving me towards that ultimate union, right? With the all that is, not just my twin, but with everything. I'll be in union with everything, right? I'll be enlightened. I'll understand. I'll get it. It'll make sense, right? It'll make sense. And understanding that you will likely go through layers and layers and layers, and you'll just keep going, right? But you can keep clearing this out, and you can keep bringing this in. And that's the exercise that I have for each individual to take, to find 2 items, right? One item would be something, that you're wishing to bring in. And then one item would be something that you're wishing to let go of. And it would correspond to a greater field, a greater experience, or something that you've, been going through for some time. And that will be the exercise for each individual to take and present within the workshop. So I send the instructions when you let me know that you would like to be, again, this is free, right? This is free. I'm offering this up for Twin Flames. And you will receive instructions, you'll receive the call-in info, and then you will also receive a follow-up email afterwards if you are interested in working with me within full transparency, just so you know. I have created this model in order to allow for as many individuals to begin this process of unification and to support them in their their further advancement forward. And so I hope some of you will join me tomorrow. I'm wondering if there's anything else I wanted to share. I think that's it. So until next time, toodaloo.